Live. Ready?
I'm ready then.
Yeah, we're live.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Perpetual and Dee Time Love Show. It's been a long time, Alex. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a
Oh
long
yeah.
time. When was the
Well,
last time?
oh, I can't remember, Alex. Mate, honestly, been a good couple of months, I think, maybe longer. To be fair, since we've gone live.
I've got.
Apologies, I've had a lot of messages saying why aren't you guys going live? Unfortunately, we've got 9 to 5 jobs, unfortunately, and I've been getting up every day about 6:30 a.m. in the mornings. So live streams have been a non-goer for me, Alex. But how about yourself? How's business down your end?
Business is good, especially on the authentication side. It's been really good. As you know, I went down to Stevenage to authenticate Platinum Daytona with the Blue Diamond dial, which was all good. I got, as Oshin said, got paid handsomely.
Well, that's good, mate. That's good. Look, we've got a few of the Gumbari have come in nice and early. We've got Nicola. Hello, Gumbaremo. We've got Ian Nicholson. Hello, Gumbaremo. Welcome back to the UK. I think that Ian's probably a little bit depressed now being back in the UK, but you've got a few of your fellow compatriots just to give you that feel that you're back in Gibro. And we've got what else have we got here today? We've got Andrea Dimitri as well. Welcome, brothers. Welcome to the show, guys. So we just
Uh,
wait for a few people to come through, and then we'll
yeah, yeah,
we'll,
yeah.
we'll get started.
So
Yeah.
Ian's back already. He only went for a week.
Oh, I don't know. Ian, how
Oh,
long were you out in Cyprus?
I think it's a week, isn't it?
Yeah, Ian's got a very good comment here. D, your job may be 9 to 5, but you work 24 hours a day. To be honest with you, it does feel like that. To be honest with you, it never ends. But I do enjoy the watch side of it. To be honest with you, it's
You didn't read carefully, Ray. He
oh, go
says,
on.
but Alex works 23 hours.
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought you meant. I
We've
didn't
got,
read that properly.
we've got Nikki here from
Hello,
Essex.
hello.
Oh, I've got a few people coming on now. Hey, I've got a confession to make, Dee.
Go on.
Do you want
Fill
to
me in,
hear it?
my friend. Yeah, go on. How long have you got for your confessions, everyone? It's going to be a long night. We're talking about his confessions now.
My,
Go on.
usually I drink, double whiskey and ice, but now espresso martini is my thing now. Eh?
Oh, yeah, there. You gone up market, Alex?
Yeah, yeah, I'm slowly affording the drinks there.
Wow. It's all that authentication you've been doing.
Yes.
You're spending the profits before you got started, my
Yeah,
friend. But it's all good, mate. Look, you treat
exactly.
yourself. Every authentication leads to a drink.
Yeah,
So you could end up becoming an alcoholic before you know it.
yeah, but I
So,
was in the when I went down to London, I was in that. Is it St Pancras Hotel?
all right, okay. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I am on it.
Beautiful
30,
place.
yeah, was it 32, 35 pound for two cocktails?
So what are the price difference up in Liverpool? Say for something of the same level hotel, 5-star hotel, what sort of prices are we looking at in Liverpool in comparison to central London, would you say, Alex?
Oh, there is a difference. I mean, to be honest with you, in Liverpool, actually the hotels in Liverpool are not cheap, 5-star hotels, but
Hmm.
they are cheaper. There must
Hmm.
be 100 less than what you'd pay in London. But it depends, isn't it? If you're getting it if you're buying it, if you're ordering it straight from the website, you're getting it from one of those, one of those deals, those discounted websites. But to be honest with you, have I ever stayed in a hotel in Liverpool? That's a question I have to think about. I stayed in ones in Manchester.
In your younger days?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Series a series.
No problem. I know how you roll, Alex. We know that you're honourable, honest guy, gentleman. But so, how many people are watching, Alex? Should we wait a little bit? I think there's about 13, 14 people
I've got about
watching.
13, 14 people watching, I think. So, to be
All
honest with
good.
you, we
So,
kind of did this last minute, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a last minute thing, guys. We just felt that with everything that's going on at the moment, World Time is around the corner. I said to Alex, it'd be a good time maybe to jump on the stream and discuss and advise accordingly a few tips on the day, how to save a bit of money and where to find us and that. But Mr. GMT, Yasu boys, Yasu Filemu.
Got all the Greeks here, ready.
Yeah, it's like a Greek community centre.
Yeah. Get some bezel tavli as well.
Yeah, a bit of Tavlin, you know, bit of KO. I was on something a little bit different. I was on the Bombay mix today. I felt like when I feel a little bit under the weather, I need a bit of spice, Alex. So the Shiromeri and Ilyes don't really do it for me when I'm under the weather.
That Bombay mix is proper fattening, you know.
Ah, it's all right, Alex. We still got the guns. The Suvla boys.
Suvla boys. Yeah, you like your Suvla more than me.
Oh, I love listen, I love barbecuing. I mean, you know how disappointed I am when I go to my local grocery store and I don't find grade A restaurant grade charcoal. My missus says to me, "Dee, why are you so sad?" I go, "This charcoal is not going to do justice to the meat that I've bought." You know, so I'm very sort of in a bad mood, but it's all good, my friend, all good.
Oh, kyoftes.
Kofteres, of course.
Kyoftes. I love kyoftes. My
Maybe
mum
we
makes.
should start a live stream on food, Alex, as well. Just keep everybody sweet as well. That would be nice.
Yeah, I think my mum would enjoy that. Doing a bit of cooking.
What's your favourite Greek dish, Alex?
My favourite Greek dish. I think leftigo is probably one of my favourites.
Leftigo, yeah.
For
If
dessert,
Leftigo's done the proper way, the old traditional Orthodox way, with real wood burning and at 500 Celsius cooking for about 3.5 hours, 4 hours, slow cook, buried, even mixed with the badades and you know, bay leaves and stuff like that. You know, it comes out delicious. There's nothing better than that natural taste.
What about dessert?
Can I be honest with you? I'm not really a dessert man. You see, when I go to a Greek restaurant, I order an Irish mezzen. I don't know if you know why that, because I like to get the meat first and the dips last. I don't like to waste my appetite eating daramosalada, dashin, tatsigi, hummus. I'd rather just have the meat first and then have the dips right near the end. Ian went to see my my uncle's restaurant in Cyprus, Limelight. I hope Ian, you had a lovely time. I got the photographs as well. My dad was very appreciated you going down there, my friend, supporting the family restaurant business, mate. Absolutely fantastic place. My uncle Bavlagi actually used to own Waterworld in Cyprus as well, Alex. That good old place. Yeah. So he's quite a big player in the Greek Cypriot tourism sector.
Jesus. Did not know that.
I don't take no liability if anyone got hurt on any of the rides, because I don't forget. I don't take no liability if anyone got hurt on any of the rides. Sorry, there's a bit of echo there, Alex.
Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Fantastic.
Sorry.
So we've got 123 people watching, Alex. I think it's about time we get in the nitty gritty of things. And should we start off really about World Time? To give you guys heads up. Look, as you guys are aware, I'm an official partner member of World Time. I've actually exhibited there myself about 3-4 years. I represent a brand called Pantor watches. Started off at World Time, and we now distribute the brand not only UK wide but globally. And it all started off the back of World Time. World Time UK is run by two guys, a guy called Colin, who's based in the UK, who sort of manages operations over here. But one of the main founders is a guy called Andreas that runs Local Time in Cyprus, Nicosia, Lefkosia. Fantastic guys, and they are really much a stepping stone for watch brands to get exposure to to give exposure to brands starting off and existing big brands as well, and penetrating certain markets where potentially they may not be able to reach the so-called real watch aficionados as such. And they're hosting for, I think it's 5, 6 years in a row now, at the Sofitel Hotel on the 24th of September. The hotel is actually attached to Terminal 5 Heathrow. It's a 5-star hotel, and there are officially over 65 brands attending. I think we've got about 70 brands attending now. I'm part of the media coverage. I'm going to be with Watch Pro. And I'll be honest with you, the demand from the brands that have contacted World Time has been immense. I mean, there's a real buzz. You know, I thought maybe what happened with the London Watch Show, there might be a little bit of a decline on all the shows as such, but I've noticed a bigger increase than ever before. And talking to Andreas and Colin, they had to upgrade the venue to the Zen Garden that can host pretty much not unlimited numbers, but we could get up to 500-600 people plus on the day, which is going to be absolutely amazing. It is free entry, but only if you've been invited. It's an invite only event, but it's relatively easy to get in. So anyone who hasn't got a ticket can contact myself, and I can provide you a ticket as a Dee Time invite, or you can contact World Time direct, and Andreas and Colin will be more than happy to assist.
So I'm just looking at
go for it.
What Nidal says. London Watch Show got greedy, and this is different as it's not grey dealers. It's completely different because different world. Because with London Watch Show, you would have people that were selling almost the same sort of stuff, and they weren't. Well, obviously they weren't distributors, and they weren't owners of the brands. So now you're going to see brands that you wouldn't normally see at a show. And you can then have a little, a bit of here and there. There might be something that might just tickle your fancy that you would never see in any shop or anywhere else. So it's all going to be crammed into one place, and you might just stumble across a brand that there was no way you'd ever, and that's the great thing about watches. That's how watches should be, where they grab the time when you see it, grabs you and think, you know what, I actually do like that, rather than liking it because somebody else has it, or your mate saying, look, this is the watch, that everyone's wearing. You actually have more of a kind of a personal reason to buy. Do you know what I mean? So I think with the London Watch Show, it wasn't, can we talk about this, Dee?
Yeah, 100%, mate. Listen, we've got no ties with the London Watch Show, to be honest with you. I have no ties with them at all, so it's nothing to do with me. I think what Charlie did, good effort. The first one was great. I think during COVID, it was a way of us getting a bit of escapism, getting out there, a bit of socializing. I think that was the element of it as well that made it a major success, the first one. And I think the second one was a little bit in decline. To be honest with you, I'd like to say wasn't, a major success, to be fair. The feedback that I got from people, now I feel happy to comment because there's been so many other people comment about it. I only went to the preview show, Alex, at the time.
Yeah, well, for me, the watch, if we can talk about the Watch Pro. The Watch Pro event was, I really enjoyed that. Did you enjoy that?
Well, listen, I promoted the show. I was, as you guys are aware, I'm an official partner of Watch Pro. Work very closely with them. We've A to Z Recruitment Solutions, my firm. We advertise at Watch Pro for watchmakers, sales associates, ambassadors, and so on. I know Watch Pro very well. And it's a whole different format. It's a traditional magazine publisher, a traditional events organizer, and they do things, not saying London Watch Show wasn't professional, But for example, they've got a sales team, they've got journalists, they've got a content producer. Lucy's the events manager. It's a whole different set, a different ball game. It's very commercial, and it's a lot of marketing expertise. You can say with Watch Pro in terms of what they do. It's a whole different world, but they've got an advantage of being around for donkeys of years. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
We've got Elena, man.
Welcome. Going back to World Time, guys. Now, I'll tell you a little story where you may come across a few watch brands that you've never encountered before, and you think you may remember. I'll give you an example. When I first exhibited at World Time, was a good, I don't know, 4 years ago. I came across Zelos. I think it was about 5 years ago. A guy called Tang. I met him there, and I asked him about his inspiration behind the brand Zelos. He chose the name because there's a deity in Greek, which means zeal, which is it means dedication in the Greek world. And he was dedicated to producing Zelos. And he started off by doing a Kickstarter campaign and so on. He was the first to use that business model in the micro brand world. And he's been a major success. He's a one-man army. He's a guy, I believe he's based in Singapore, a very charismatic guy, honestly, a very cool guy, really passionate about watches. And he's now, I wouldn't call Zelos a micro brand anymore. In 2020 and 2021, their sales figures were over 10,000 pieces were sold. 10,000 pieces, okay? And they're sold out on their website. I'm not sure if they've got in with ADs yet or anything like that, but they are a major success story. And I remember them coming to World Time as a relatively unknown entity at the time. And I remember Christopher Ward, the original guy at Christopher Ward, being there as well, and having a quick chat with him. And I didn't actually, I didn't do any coverage because they were relatively new. And I just saw like a Christopher Ward Seamaster homage at the time. I was like, oh, not another one. But, but look how they've progressed, you know what I mean, over the years. And Zelos, for me, is one of the companies that people overlook a little bit because they've been in the game for a while now. But they opened the door for a lot of those brands that are exhibiting, at World Time. And I think we'll see potential future stars and brands that may not make it as well, Alex, yeah? I've seen brands disappear as well. Started off well, but this is the problem sometimes when you buy into micro brands. You have to be careful because that could disappear off the face of the planet. But there's some brands that potentially become big hitters. A bit like Venezianico, a new brand that I wasn't aware of. I've seen them online. I didn't know what they're all about. But they're in 93 ADs across Europe at the moment, and they're coming to the UK. They've broken through. And if AD is willing to invest and get an illegal contract agreement with a brand, it means they're on the way up, guys.
Yeah. Look, this is exactly what I was saying before. We're going to see brands that you wouldn't normally see. Well, can I say in the UK market? Because you wouldn't, so this is a great time that just think of these people that have taken action and made their own brand. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. You've got to get the funding right, and then the design. They've literally took action, and they've actually, from here, they've made a watch. I know how difficult that is.
Yeah.
And then they managed to get funding, and then obviously the most important thing is to then get mass funding, and then be in the likes of the big players, like, can we say like Goldsmiths, Watches of Switzerland, This is obviously a dream for them, and that is a long process. And that's why I think sometimes we judge brands too quickly, because as I was saying to you before, Dee, Rolex, okay, we're going to talk about Rolex, but Rolex started as a small brand.
He was 24. He was 24 years old, Hans Wilsdorf, when he started the brand, wasn't he, to be fair? So it's like same age as, Tang at Zelos sort of thing. Imagine having the balls to do something like that. And what I love about Zelos is the fact that he had the balls to do it when no one else was doing it, Alex. There wasn't no one doing what he did.
I guarantee there'll be a lot of people saying, no, you're stupid for doing that, or that's not the way to do it. But he, decided, he or she or them decided to do something completely different. And look where they are. I mean, there's this unfortunate situation of certain British brands that have just got themselves in a pickle with how they tried to sell their pieces.
Well, there's been a lot of marketing fakery, I would say, right? So a lot of British brands, unfortunately, their marketing is based on delusional fantasies, if that makes sense. Saying that, made in London, blah, blah, blah. For me, what I respect in certain brands when they're transparent and honest about how they're producing the watch. They're not trying to fool people into thinking, they're a British watchmaker, for example. I get a lot of brands come to me where I figure them out straight away and I send them back. For example, there was one brand, it's not to everybody's taste. I'll give you an example. I get loads of Chinese brands that pretend they're British brands, but this company called Wish Do It, I was like, what is this all about? This brand, let me give them I'll let them send me the watch. If it's no good, I'll send it back. And to my surprise, I spoke to them on the phone, and they're in ADs in Hong Kong, Alex, and they've penetrated ADs in the Middle East. And these guys are sitting side by side, IWC, Tag Heuer, in those ADs as they're sort of like affordable luxury watches like a Tissot or something like that. And it just made me think, look, what they're producing in China, they're very honest. They're proud to be a Chinese manufacturer. And so they're doing in-house movements. Yes, they say they play tribute to Richard Mille. All right, the case, the Torno case, barrel case is Richard Mille. It's a bit of a rip-off on that side. However, the dials themselves are different because they're working with different movements that they've produced. 80 hours power reserve, curved sapphire crystal. I was shocked in terms of the quality and the price, but their selling points are we can produce good quality watches at a very affordable prices because we have the technology in house to do it. And the Chinese brands, and they're saying, well, we've done it for all these British brands, these so-called British designers that come up with ideas. Why don't we start pushing our stuff across Europe and the USA? And I'm seeing that in abundance now. A lot of Chinese brands are now coming out of the woodwork. This is our brand. We're proud to be Chinese. There is always a bit of a stigma in terms of, watch snobbery and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, I was one of those guys back in the day. I'm not going to lie. I was like, well, that's not going to be successful, is it? And to my surprise, my mentality has changed after experiencing the timepieces.
Yeah, and let's be honest, a lot of brands use Chinese parts. And then they either refinish them or they're built within the European, within Europe. So there is, I'm not saying that they're all lying, but there is certain ways of marketing things and the play on words. But the Chinese have a massive, massive influence in the watch market. So you should put that to one side and just see the actual product they make and not think of, it's Chinese, because they do make some exceptional cases and interesting movements as well. My only thing that I don't like is that when these brands try to pull the wool over people's eyes and kind of really, would I say lie? Well, they don't really help themselves. And also
there's selection one. Filippo Loretti is one brand that always trying to, I think that the co-founders are from Lithuania and they pretend to be Italian watchmakers, don't they? To be fair, and the whole product is not what it seems to be.
I don't know that brand that well, but that is very similar to what I was saying, where they try and make out that they're something when they're not. When they don't have any Swiss in them or any Italian in them, and they're just like, I don't know, totally Chinese or whatever else. I don't like that. Or what I don't like is when certain brands like ask for silly money for their watches, but their movements are real bad. Or their customer service is atrocious.
Customer service is the big problem with micro brands.
To the point where it could be the best watch in the world, But the fact is that you can't get the thing serviced or you can't speak to anybody. It's ruined. You've ruined the brand because then the people think, well, why have I bothered? You got to. It's hard because you have to get all aspects right, from the watch, from the design, R&D, and then from the service support as well.
Yeah, I mean, it is a journey. You know, everyone's got to start somewhere. I would say, you know, just to manage people's expectations. If you meet a new brand and they're doing a Kickstarter campaign, don't expect to call them up and get someone at the end of the phone who's going to talk to you straight away. You know, I can imagine Tang at Zelos just probably gets. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got 1,000 people in his inbox. I don't know if he's got a team behind him now. I'm sure he's got a team behind him. You know, supporting, you know, the brand. You need customer service, don't you, to become a big brand, because the bigger you become, the more problems you're going to have as well, you know, whether it's logistics or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I mean, like Ebel failed on that many years ago. Frank Muller. Cartier, unfortunately, a lot of certain ADs have pulled out of Cartier because they were sick and tired of their customer service and the movements that they use. But I do remember Frank Muller being a big issue back in the day. So that can ruin a brand. Let me just see what Nick Nicola. One micro brand whose customer service is excellent is Zero West. What do you think of Zero West, Dee?
I've spoken to the co-founders. You know, potentially, you know, I'll be happy to help them. You know, whatever they need to do. I think they're an up and coming brand. Yeah, so I'll be honest with you. They've got a little niche there in terms of the aviation. I think they dip in and out of motorsport as well. I think they're solid pieces. I think what they need now, Zero West, is to market themselves as a proper watch brand. You know, not just rely on the so-called, you know, YouTube watch community. They've got the potential to go out there and become, you know, a mainstream brand and grow. I think they're at that stage now where they're going to have to make some critical decisions. Where they see themselves in the marketplace, because their product is good from what I understand. I've held them briefly, you know, at a few shows and stuff. How about yourself, Alex? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, they've outpriced themselves massively.
Yeah, I think they are a high price point for sure. But I mean, look, you know, if they're selling the product, you know, I think production pieces are quite low, aren't they? I don't think they produce too many pieces, to be fair.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's still. Unfortunately, people will look at that figure and say, "Well, for that figure, I could buy this." I went, "Okay, you know, you can buy always alternatives, but there comes a point where people will most probably go for the more common luxury brand than
brand recognition, isn't it? A lot of the time,
than the Zero West. So then you ask yourself, how do you overcome that? Well, I think you overcome that with years in the business, or with service, or maybe inviting buyers to, I don't know, to events. You know, to show that there's a community, and then you can grow on that. But I think their prices are extreme. And I did have the pleasure of meeting one of the owners while I was at the London Watch Show. But I did hear something that was said while I was at the stand. They were comparing someone said, "Oh, this is a micro brand," and one of the others said, "No, you wouldn't call Roger Smith a micro brand." Now, this is the problem I have. Roger Smith is an exceptional watchmaker, and I've had the pleasure of meeting, and his watches.
Well, he's like the sensei of watchmaking. It's like going to your master sensei.
Yeah,
you know, that's the difference. Yeah, you can't compare the two. No.
That's like me saying that I'm in competition with Watches Switzerland Service Centre. I mean, come on. I mean, I don't like that talk, to be blunt. You know, I would never compare myself to Roger Smith or Daniels.
I think you've got to understand, Alex, as well. You know, when you're starting off a watch brand, there's so much competition. There's a lot of snobbery from the Swiss world. You know, it's very difficult to even get the Swiss watch manufacturers to even give you a movement if you're starting off.
Yeah,
Who are
yeah.
you? You know, if it wasn't for Salita, you know, coming on board, you know, and cloning the 28, 24, you know, ETA, then I think the whole industry would be in real trouble, to be honest with you. But there's been, you know, even Seiko don't just give their best movements out anymore to micro brands. This is where, for example, trying to get a chronograph movement is impossible. You know, I think a lot of micro brands started off, you've got a chrono mechanical, will either be the Seagull chronograph or a Mecha Quartz Seiko, which is like a hybrid quartz movement sort of thing, and very difficult because breaking into the Swiss world, and a lot of these guys don't have the expertise. Alex, they don't have a marketing team or advising them, PR team. You know, I'll give you some of the brands. The owners are told never to go on social media because it could damage the brand image, for example. Yeah. I've got brand managers that are for the big boy brands. They literally say it's a nightmare what other brands are doing. They've destroyed their brand before it's even started by the way the perception of the brand and where you're seen and who you're associated with. You've got to be very careful with certain brands because all it takes at the beginning to generate a bad image or reputation, and you can be guilty by association with a lot of these brands, you know. So it's difficult. It is a really tough business, and I respect anybody starting up. And I think that if they get the right advice, they go to the right people, then the brand can be successful for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, you have to be really, really careful, you know, how you're advertising your product and who you're associating yourself with, you know, like anything. But because as soon as you associate yourself with somebody or, you know, that may not be well liked or maybe in a situation, your brand's going to go, it's going to
Look,
go. I
it's
mean,
nearly impossible for these brands really to compete. I'll be honest with you, with the mainstream brands, right? Because when you're looking at head of marketing, you know, the Swatch Group just for the UK, they've got different marketing budgets for each country, region, every demographic, social, economic status, everything is being considered. We're talking about hundreds of millions of pounds, Alex. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is no joke with these brands. You know, look
Yeah.
at Omega. They've got, you know, George Clooney. You know how many millions they're paying him to promote, you know, the brand. You know, Tudor with David Beckham. These things don't come cheap when you've got people of that level, and all the sponsoring they do. You know, people. Someone said to me that Rolex don't do no advertising. Well,
They
have
don't
you
need to.
seen one? But they do. They of
They do.
course
They do. They do. No,
they
I should
sponsor
say they
more.
do.
Look at Formula One. Look
Yeah.
at Wimbledon. Look at
Yeah.
all the major high-end sports. You know, even golf, and you know they've always marketed themselves at the elite level of sports and so on. But you know, Hans Wilsdorf was the first to give out, you know, the Rolex date to presidents and prime ministers around the world, Alex.
Was it
And now,
Roosevelt? Wasn't it?
you
Was
know,
it? Why was it
yeah.
Roosevelt? Oh, was it? I think it was, wasn't it? He gave to Dee. I've
Well,
got a book about it
yeah, I
somewhere.
read it somewhere as well. I can't remember now. It's one of the first books I read was about Rolex, to be fair.
I gave one to Magarios, man.
Yeah.
Imagine Magarios wearing a
You know
Data.
what? Before I lose track and I get carried away talking about other things, I wanted to advise people who are attending World Time. Now, those of you that are thinking about staying, there is a discount code you can use to stay at the Sofitel Hotel. But you need to, I can't remember what, you need to get to reservations of the hotel. You can't get that discount online. I think it's about £200, but if you use the discount, it comes down to, I think, 160, £165 sterling. And if you want to add someone to stay with you, I think it's an extra £15. If you're driving to the show, I suggest that before you leave the show, go to the reception desk and give them your parking ticket, and you'll get a considerable discount on the car park stay as well, guys. Just to give you a heads up. So parking is very expensive. So any discount you can get, guys, take it up, because I remember paying like 30, 40 pounds last time I was there. So and I didn't realize this was years ago. So now, and look, I think the last time I spent was 21 pounds. But if you need any help, Andreas, Colin, the founders of the Facebook group, the Divers Facebook group, World Time, will be there. I'll be there with Watch Pro as media coverage in terms of the supporting act of the show. And you also have Alex at Perpetual-Time. He will be able to grab me, get me in a headlock, smash me down if I'm not communicating with you guys. Yeah.
Obviously, we're looking forward to it, because I'm looking forward to it, because seeing everybody there and meeting new people, making contacts, and seeing all the brands that I wouldn't usually see as well. And I think that's exciting, because I'm not saying that. Well, actually, I will say this: London Watch Show for me. I don't know. I didn't go to the first one because I wasn't sure about going, because I felt as though, because I'm already in.
The first one was good, Alex. I think it was good in the fact that not necessarily just meeting everybody. You know, like I really enjoyed it. It was so great to get out and about. I'll be honest with you, at the time. The second one, I don't know why. A lot of things happened, didn't it? To be fair,
Well,
put a negative spin on it.
We had the situation with Jonathan.
Oh yes, yes.
But what I wasn't, not naming names, but what I didn't like is that I felt as though the stands weren't equal. I totally understand that people pay extra and this and that, but at the end of the day, everyone is more or less selling the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and also, I don't think it's always good for you to meet the owner, because you may not actually like, or they may not come across very well. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm just I'm trying to be careful what I'm saying. But what I mean is that I was in there. I got to see people I already know and say hello. But literally in less than an hour, I've seen everything, and that's not me being rude, but maybe it's because I'm already in the business and I've already seen so many watches, and the people that are there already know of. But I kind of imagine me going there as a customer. Imagine myself going there with my son or daughter or wife or whatever, and going to physically buy a watch. Would I have bought a watch on that day? No.
Just to give you guys heads up, you won't be able to buy watches from World Time, but you'll get to experience, new brands. I mean, look, let's be honest, Alex, right? London Watch Show was a trade show for me. I've been to trade shows where not in a hotel, and it's a strictly business. I've attended with my friends that happen to be watch dealers, and it was just like that, but just in a more glamorous location, if that makes sense. And the first one was better. I felt the first one was better organized. The second one was a little bit like resting on the laurels on the first one. Like, we did a good first one. The second will be right. I don't have to put as much effort into it. It will work out fine, sort of attitude I felt.
Look, I mean, it takes a lot to actually make a day like that. It's, once again, say the word took action. Charlie took action and did what he did. I didn't go to the first one. I heard it was great, but also because everyone was locked in with COVID and people wanted to see watches. The question is, how many watches did sell at the first one and how many watches did sell at the second one? Because the expense it was for dealers to go down and exhibit, and the security risk, if they push that into SEO or into their business, I still think they would have sold more watches. Do you know what I mean? I don't. It's not necessarily. It's risky taking all those watches because you don't know what's going to happen. There's always people. I guarantee there was people there that were checking out the place to see if they could do it over. Because unfortunately, that's just the
Oh yeah,
business.
you know,
That's,
even the inland revenue were there, Alex. Yeah, I was told
oh
the
yeah,
inland
yeah,
revenue were there. I had heads up. Someone said to me, look, you know, a few guys will be coming down from inland revenue, HMRC, to be sort of spotters, see what cash dealings were going on. It is what it is, you know. I think Ian mentions in the comment now, I just read, last London Watch Show was a farce. It was advertised as having 120 exhibitors. There was nowhere near, plus all the security problems, etc. It was terrible. Now, if you're going to advertise something like that, guys, yeah, it's not a good look, is it, Alex? Let's be honest. If
no,
you're false advertising,
yeah,
um, it's not great. But look, I'm not here to bash on the
no,
London Watch Show. I hope
no.
they bring it. You know, it's all a learning curve. You know, for me, if they can learn or do something to sort out the last one, then yeah, so be it. You know, who knows? We might be attending one in the future if it turns out to be a bit different. You know.
Look, I know a lot of. I don't like to call them grey dealers because I don't think it's a nice way to. It's just pre-owned dealers. You know, I
Yes.
know a lot of pre-owned dealers, and I have a lot of
We've got
respect.
Giuseppe Bruno in the house. You're welcome
Giuseppe,
to jump on, brother, if you want to come on.
Giuseppe Brothers in Time, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, that's a guy that's very trustworthy and has a very good business, legitimate business. You know, and he's someone you can 100% trust.
I'll say
My
one thing:
only
proud partners and sponsors of the D Time Love Channel, brothers in Tom. I wouldn't get in bed with these guys if I genuinely haven't heard good feedback and personally dealt with them watch wise as well.
D doesn't
Exceptional service.
D doesn't get in bed with everyone, do you? D, huh?
No, not everyone. Not everyone. Not like everyone says, but no, they're fantastic guys. On a serious note, honestly, they're good characters, very humble. There's no BS in them, you know. Brothers in Time, good inventory. They haven't got all their eggs in one basket. These guys have got day jobs as well. You know, they're in very good jobs and they invest a lot of money in watches. So you get the sort of service because they've been on the other side of the coin, if that makes sense, Alex. Yeah, they've got excellent watch knowledge as well, I have to say.
Yeah, and they're professionals in other fields as well. You know, in terms
Yes.
of they know business.
Giuseppe's a finance analyst, for God's sake.
Well,
City
Jamina,
boy.
there you have
What
to
more do you need to
understand
know?
exactly. So you know that's going to help your business, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's not gone from a joiner to a watch dealer, has he?
No, he's not being a scaffolder. You know, someone you know, this guy knows what he's doing, you know, how to handle money. But
Watch, got a watch here. Like, do you want to buy
no.
one?
I've got some, you know, horror stories that, you know, to say, but you know, that's a story for another time. But you know, good guys. I mean, look, should we talk about? I've had a lot of questions. The guys saying to me about the price increase of Rolex.
Hmm?
Um, for anyone who's been living on another planet, Rolex put the prices up, I think, by 7%. I think it was the 2nd or 3rd of December. It was no surprise to me, to be honest with you. And it
Yeah.
wasn't just Rolex, Patek Philippe, AP, Omega. If you go onto the ADs, the boutiques, you'll see on their website, you know, an Omega Seamaster, I think it was, I can't remember the price. I think it was before like 4.6. I think it's 5.1. I know it was 4.8 and it's gone up to about £5,200. Rolexes have all gone up by 7%. Tudor had the increase early part of January this year, and they're going up again in January, I was told. So let's not let's talk about the elephant in the room. You know, this has happened because of what's going on in the world with inflation, and most importantly, the pound sterling has tanked against the Swiss franc. Yeah. Now, let me tell you something as well, right, guys? I was talking to some of the finance directors of these brands, you know, at Richmond Group and Swatch Group, and they're already in talks of how they're gonna stimulate growth in the UK. And they're talking to local MPs, people part of the Institute of Directors in the UK. Now, before the UK exited, you know, Europe, people that were non EU or non UK citizens could buy a luxury product or goods from the UK and basically get a rebate on the VAT on the watch. Yeah. Now that's not the case anymore. So I guess Liz Truss has got an opportunity, the new Prime Minister of the UK. The one way she can stimulate the growth for the ADs and these watch brands is allowing all non-UK citizens to claim their rebate, the VAT, immediately. So what that will mean is because of the UK pound sterling has dropped dramatically against all the currency, the UK watch market at the moment is probably the cheapest across Europe. And it's to do with the currency in the UK. Pound sterling has dropped dramatically against the Swiss franc. That's where they judge it. This is a company called Subdial, who do basically research on the market. Bloomsburg, Ipsos Mori as well. I got an article on that. I get in with the newsletters with the brands. They sort of CC me in, and the UK is the cheapest at the moment. So if that rebate comes back, people overseas will be coming to the UK to be buying their watches from ADs and knowing they can get 20% more in their country, Alex. We're becoming that kind of country at the moment. As we're us, we don't have that. We pay not only is the pound sterling down, it means that we have to pay a lot more than everybody else. I'm having custom problems getting watches now for the channel to review because we're in third world country rules. I'm even
Yes.
getting emails from, I think it was FedEx, about Endangered Species Act now that my watch has come in, it's got real croc. And they need a special certificate in third world trade rules that they're allowed to sell, that the animal's being killed in the correct way and all this nonsense. So my watches are stuck in customs. It's been delayed,
Yeah, I
night
mean,
for me on the channel.
it happened to me when I was a watchmaker for Cartier in Malta. We kept on having straps, seized at customs,
Right, okay. That's
and
mad.
this was years ago. This was before. I think this was just when they were in the EU. So anyway, we told them, and they said they'll sort it out. So then one day we got a big thick magazine sent to us. So I was reading it, and as I was reading it, the straps fell out of the magazine. What they did was they cut into the magazine, put the straps in, and then put it through customs. And then we asked them to get us more, and they denied it. Italians denied it. No, we don't.
That's mad. I mean, look, Switzerland not in the EU. I know that, but apparently we are trading under different trade agreement now with them as well, which is
Oh,
a bit
right.
annoying. Yeah, wasn't aware of this. This is where Boris never really mentioned anything about this stuff. I never had any stuff from China is all good for some reason. I don't know if they package their stuff differently, but stuff from China is not an issue at the moment.
Do you know the influx of stuff that comes from China? Can you imagine?
Well, it comes with your coffee beans as well, doesn't it? You get
Exactly, Yes, I mean, I always now even spare parts are coming from Europe that are expensive. It's a nightmare. It really is. It's proving big problems, and I just hope they sort this problem out, especially for dealers. I mean, some of the big pre-owned specialists in the UK, if not in Europe, are having trouble because buying watches from Europe, with all the customs, and it's just nuts.
Well, FedEx have always been a nightmare, haven't they? I've been told by a few. I think Paul Falk mentioned to me that FedEx have always been a real nightmare, always, because God knows how they operate. But even with Royal Mail, I've had the same thing, Alex, for the first time. Yeah, it's not great, but you know what? I think talking to the ADs, and I won't mention their names, they've said to me that they are really excited with what they're talking to with government bodies at the moment. And this is what sort of influence and contacts they have, that the UK will be a major hub for the pre-owned market. Going forward, people from Europe will come to the UK to snap up the good deals. So it's a weird period, and there has been a real rebalancing of the market. We might as well discuss that as well, Alex, as well. I mean,
look, for me, it kind of, not being selfish, but it kind of works good for me, because what people are doing, they're using people from Europe or even out of Europe are using my authenticity checks for the watches to be sent to me.
okay.
And I'm checking them, and then I'm storing them for a fee. So when they come over themselves to pick up the watch, obviously it's been picked up by them, everything's been paid for my end. It's up to them if they wish to fly back to their destination and risk, obviously, having to deal with customs if they declare it or not. That's between them, isn't it? Yeah. So for me, it's working out brilliant, because they having an opportunity now of actually getting hold of that watch rather than coming over and seeing it themselves and not knowing if it is correct, if it is genuine. They've now got a hub where the watches can be checked as on a live stream, as me and you were talking, and then be stored securely and fully insured. So my selfish, for me, it's all right for now. Do you know what I mean?
Look, I think, they mentioned, and this is a firm, I look at Ipsos Mori, I look at Subdial, that have been monitoring the market, how prices have dropped, and they've said it stayed. This is not totally accurate, but we can say round it off. It say it's 2.8%. Let's just say it's 3%. There's been a price drop of that figure in comparison to the used and new market. So not massive, but that's on average. So there's still pieces that are holding up well. So it's not been a crash. This is where people said the crash. It's no such thing as a crash. A crash is when we're in recession and everyone stops. A bit like COVID was for me, was a crash a little bit at the time, Alex. Yeah, it was a bit like I couldn't operate business-wise. For me, it was a bit of a crash.
Why are you saying that? Why are you saying that to me? I'm just looking at my phone, because I was having a discussion with one of my clients who bought a Patek Philippe 5990. Obviously, I'm not going to mention the name, but now that watch is approximately, I think it's 115,000, and he paid over 200.
So well, this is on average, Alex. This is not based on one individual time. This is
I know.
Yeah, so
I know, but it's just when people are saying, Dee, that the market hasn't fell. It has.
It has. Look, don't get me wrong. It has fallen. What I'm saying is, how much have they fallen in comparison? We're talking about Rolex, first of all.
Oh, right. Okay.
The main guys, right? Rolex as a brand is still going above retail on most models, except for the blue sub. Yeah, that one you can find cheaper than retail at the moment.
Yeah, it's still going above. The thing is, though, is that because Rolex has been like that for so long, I can't really see it ever going down for less than RRP or RRP. Do you know what I mean? I just think they've held their money for so long that there will be dips, but I don't think you could ever go and actually buy one pre-owned at RRP, or just
never say never. But
no, I don't know. Sometimes I think, sometimes I wake up and think differently, but
Rolex Cellini?
But Rolex Cellini is just like...
Well, you just said, it depends on the model, isn't it? Let's be honest. The GMT, look, let's be honest, right? Rolex have got the biggest share of the market, right? They're still selling. What have they got? 60% of the market? That's 70%. From the last figures they came out with, that's humongous, Alex. That's the ADs. Rolex can't keep up with demand. Think about there's more Rolexes than Seikos being produced, Alex.
Oh, really?
This is the reality.
There's more Rolexes than Seiko being produced.
Well, I would say. Look at the figures. They've got 70% of the market. Seiko not doing that well, are they? compared to Rolex, are they? No one's waking up every day saying I'm buying a Seiko, mate.
Yeah, but I mean, look, like comparing a Ferrari to a Skoda. Come on, you know what I mean?
Doesn't matter. Money's
Yeah,
money.
yeah,
We're looking at the sales figures.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know that, but you know, it's also the less that's out there is pushed up the interest as well. I mean, the amount of people when you come out of an AD or you go past an AD, the people looking in the window.
Let's look at them in comparison to Omega, for example. The figures are huge. Rolex in comparison to Omega, what's been sold. Even Cartier overtook them. Whether I believe that, you know, I don't.
What, Cartier's took over Omega?
Yeah, in terms of sales, they're second now. But I think there's a bit of manipulation there in terms of the market because they've got avenues to get rid of their stock.
Mafias, right?
Yeah, it's in Missouri. I don't see it really, but you know, talking to the ADs, they say that Tissot is outselling.
Oh, look, I don't even need to see that watch, and I'm not being obnoxious or arrogant. But let me tell you something, all right? I haven't even seen that watch, and I want that watch. I've not physically worn one, even held one, but I know when I see. You know when you see a quality piece, and the fact that it's got the movement it's got in it.
Was it the 2824, Alex, is found in, you know, Breitling.
I'm talking about the Chrono one, sorry. You're sorry.
Yeah. But even this model as well, it's, you know, you find this movement in, you know, Tudor Black Base when they first came out with the smiley faces. People not aware of that. Breitling Super Oceans have the 2824, you know. We're not talking about the chronographs. They've got the B1 movement, right? But, you know, Tissot, let's not forget, part of the Swatch Group, they've seen what micro brands are doing, and they basically look, we've got the resources to compete with all of these brands, and they're producing watches now that put them in the thick of things. You know, 80 hours power reserve, the quality is there. It's got brand recognition and heritage. They've got the advantage over any new brand coming through. They've sort of like said, well, hold on a minute, guys, look what we can produce at this price point.
But it's no different than us talking about Chinese market. A Chinese company that makes components has decided to make maybe something exactly the same, if not similar, to who they're supplying and make it less, make it for less. That's what Tissot have done. Tissot have watched the market and watched it. They made a watch that looks like a Octo Finissimo Bulgari with a bit of.
That's a sexy piece, isn't it? Let's be honest. That's a sexy piece. The Octo Finissimo is.
It's Greek Italian.
And then Giuseppe Re. the Greek and Italian combination there, you know?
Yeah.
Octo Finissimo. Now Finissimo means Fili.
Filakia, right? So they watched the market and they thought, you know what? They actually own, if I'm not mistaken, the movements. They're part of the movements. You know, and they can just then because they can produce them at affordable prices, they've just undercut everybody. And it's a beautiful watch. The chronograph one is one that I'll definitely.
Yeah. I'm getting that one, by the way, guys. That's coming soon. So I'll be doing a review on that soon. But I haven't been looking at Tissot's for a very long time, guys, until they relaunched this PRX. I think the last one I bought was a PRX, but the old chronos, we're talking about maybe 10 years ago. And it was a quartz model. Yeah, just shows you. It was sapphire. It was all right. It was a solid watch. You know, I remember buying the watch, and this was about it was old. It's about 13, 14 years. And I said to the lady, shows you what I knew back then, you know, 200 meters, that's not bad, is it? She goes, 200 meters, water resistance, very good on the chronograph, you know, my early days, Alex, yeah? So it's like, you know, no, Tissot, they've always had that heritage, but I think they lost their way a little bit, Alex. You could find a lot of fake Tissots in China, on eBay. Majority of them are fake. You've got to be really careful on eBay.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. And the most, and for me, I would say it's the opposite for Tissot because the fake watches were so good that it was the box and the instruction booklet that let it down. The irony. is it's the opposite. You had to look at the box and papers, which are usually the most easiest to fake. It was the box and all that let the Tissot down, but the watch was extremely good quality fake. It's scary.
What's this I've been hearing about the moon swatch? There's got fakes out there that are better than the real thing. What they're using, like a mega quartz movement, which is.
Oh, she was talking about it on his channel, wasn't he? Saying like,
what they've got fake moon swatches, have they?
Yeah. Listen, they make fake paracetamol. They make fake adrenaline. Do you know how many hospitals have bought fake adrenaline?
Jesus
it's crazy.
Christ.
Fake paracetamol, fake condoms. Oh, it's nuts. The fake market is huge. It's huge. Big problem.
Always buy from a reputable dealer, guys.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you could have a lot of little Alexes around. You know what I mean?
Can't wait. Yeah, the fake
market in the watch world.
Because everyone is trying to get everything cheap, aren't they? You know, like.
Well, it's a bit like, what's his name? Hancock, whatever his name was, the health secretary. He must have gone through, all the stuff that he brought, the vaccines. We must have bought about billions of pounds worth of vaccines until we found one that worked.
Well, that's a bit of a different.
Well,
I know what you're saying, but
you know what I'm getting at, though. Same sort of thing, right?
Yeah, they even make fake Hancock ties. They make fake Brembo brakes. Can you believe it? They make fake Brembo. How bad is that you're fitting fake brakes to a car, thinking that they're going to save your life?
Euro car parts, right? They're literally they're like the Celita of the watch world. Euro car parts, aren't they? They could save you a lot of money, but nothing ever fits properly. But that's actually being a bit harsh to Celita. Celita are a good movement.
Listen, Celita gets a real bad flack. Look, at the end of the day, the early Celita models, such as like the 2824 and all that, had big problems with the reverser wheels, but they sorted that all out. The Celita movement.
They've saved the watch industry. A lot of brands would have gone under without them, Alex. They've given an alternative solution that makes it viable for brands to continue. There's a lot of brands that really couldn't afford to produce in-house movements. It could have spelt the end of those brands, Alex. Yeah, not like everyone can do what Tag Heuer did and produce in-house.
No. And even the Tag Heuer Heuer 01 is based on the Seiko movement, isn't it?
Yeah. But was it you was telling me that you came across? Was it like a Chanel Swiss watch and it had this Seiko movement?
It's got a SOPROD movement in it. Now I estimated it like an idiot for a 2892. I didn't even open it. I just assumed it had a 2892, which is my bad. And it's got a SOPROD movement in it, which is like a Seiko Hattori.
Nightmare to service, right? I would have thought.
Well, it needs a new C-clip, and I can't get one. I've asked everybody. It's really frustrating because people that come to me for parts, and 80 to 90%, I can get the part. And when I ask for one part, just one, oh no, I can't help, Alex. Sorry.
This reminds me when I went to a Greek restaurant and my souvlaki came and there was no lemon in the plate. I disgusted. I thought, God, I'm never coming back here. I go to the missus. If he comes without a lemon, man, I'm going to...
I bet you like your pizza, don't you?
Look, I don't like my pizza like Zumar. I like it,
hard.
Char grilled. So
really hard.
A little bit crunch. But the Cypriot ones, they've got the cushioning in there. Very thick, it absorbs all the juice of the meat. Fantastic.
You get me hungry.
Ian knows what I'm talking about.
You got me hungry now.
Mate, I'm hungry. I'm always hungry.
You know what? What was I going to say? You know what? I've got no things with Bark and Jack. What's it, Adrian? But I didn't like the way, just because his moon swatch decided for the button to come off means that they were rubbish. I don't think that's fair to say that.
Do you think, Alex, maybe you've got a personal interest in the moon swatch? Because I hear that you own one. You don't want to... You want to plug it then, yeah? Before you were dead against sports, you're plugging them, mate. What's going on?
No. I was on the way to Liverpool to go and post some of my posts, and there was this Moon Omega Mini. Oh, what was it?
Yeah, I thought, mate. Yeah, it was like they're touring the UK, right, with all this stuff,
Yeah.
right?
The guy goes, "Oh, mate, do you want to buy an Omega?" And I thought, "Is this real? Is it? Are these watches real?"
Alex,
But
it
it's
was my
just the way
lucky
he
day.
was.
My lucky day. You called
And
me. I
it's
said,
just
"I
the way
bought
he
this
came
watch."
up to me, and he was like, the way he was talking to me, the eye contact he was giving me. I thought, and that's when I rang you. And then
Yeah.
it's in the safe. I was going to give it to my son, but then I've not worn it. I've not done anything to it. I've stuck it in the safe.
Alex's legacy. The moon
Yeah,
swatch.
all these years, and I've got a moon swatch in my safe.
All these years talking about watches, advising, and you give your son a bioceramic quartz
Yeah.
watch.
Oh, he's getting my 74 Omega. Obviously, the date represents a lot, 74. But yeah, any other watches I've got. But I've always said this. Look, I've got a 5500 that I'm gonna sell, which is pristine. I've even done a YouTube video is coming out soon. It is pristine, and not only that, I'm cheaper than anyone in the UK, no matter who they are. Box papers, tags. 5500, and it's absolutely immaculate.
You heard that guy? Well, I should be pointing that way. No, that way. I don't know. This is like going to a Greek restaurant trying to get a waiter to give you the bill, mate. You know, it's like, yeah, like I said, Alex knows that way. Oh, I don't know, mate. Honestly, this camera. But yeah, so you're the cheapest, are you, Alex? I hope that's not reflect the quality.
No. My overheads are not like. In all fairness, my overheads are not what these other overheads are, and that's why I respect people like Giuseppe and all that, because they do it properly. And I'm not saying that I don't do it properly, but it's me. I serviced the watch, I checked the watch, I bought the watch. It is immaculate, honestly. I'm not even. It's still got the nice lume. It's a beautiful piece.
Well, Alex, I have to say, I have to get it authenticated before.
Get it authenticated. Yeah.
I might have to take it to my trusted AD, Watches of Switzerland, to authenticate it for me. But, no, that's fantastic, mate. So, like I see, there's a lot of people watching, and guys, give you guys head up. I'll just do a recap on World Time. For those of you that are staying, don't forget to ask for your discount. You can only get your discount on the hotel if you directly book the hotel room through the reservation system. And if you are driving to World Time UK, make sure before you leave, you give your parking ticket to the reception desk, and you will get a discount on parking, guys, as well. Heads up, because I may forget on the day. I don't want anyone to overspend on the parking, guys. So I look forward to seeing everyone. It's exciting times, Alex. It's going to be a great gathering of watch enthusiasts, and it's going to be fun, all fun and games.
Got everyone here. Look, we've got Ayop, we've got Tickers,
Jonathan, fantastic.
Greggy boy,
Thomas Burnett, Greggy boy, good to see you, mate. We've got Palm as well, Night Wristwatchman as well.
Nice watchman. So they're all coming, aren't they?
We're a bit late. I think we started a bit later than planned, or did we start earlier, Alex? I can't remember now.
We started on time, didn't we?
Did we? Oh yeah, I think so.
What's that you're drinking?
H2O.
Water. Nero.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nero.
Do you know what's really bad though? Did you ever get those ones with like the aspartame and saturated? Those sweet water.
No. This is from Costco. I get 40 bottles. Good old Kirkland, Peckham Springs. God knows where this water's from.
Do you know what's really nice to do in the morning, Dee?
What's that? Don't ask me that.
No. It's like the night before.
All right.
Let's see where this is going to go now. So, where you get some limoni, some lemons, cut them up, put them in a drinks holder with some ice. You put it in the fridge, and then when you wake up in the morning, you drink that. It's nice,
Good for the digestive system and your immune system.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
So Alex, look, have you noticed certain things with certain watch brands at the moment that they're producing a lot of watches with gold on at the moment? Oris, Tissot, like the PRXs, they've got gold bezels. To my surprise, real 18 karat gold. What do you think the reason is for that, Alex?
Well, it might be because they're trying to push the fact of steel and gold, and people are seeing less of steel or not believing in steel. I don't know. It's what was it? Gold is at an affordable price, or it's not really moved the gold
It's not.
prices. No.
Well, no, but I think they're trying to give that extra added luxury to more entry level pieces at the moment. I've seen a different sort of upturn in terms of the offerings at lower price points. So you start off with a PRX automatic Powermatic, what, £565 sterling. You can now get one with a 18 karat gold fluted bezel, I think for about £1,500 sterling.
Is that gold, solid gold, or is that capped?
I believe the bezel may be solid gold. I'm not 100% sure. If anyone knows in the chat, I just came across them at my local AD, and I was like, "Is that gold?" And like, yeah, it's an 18 karat gold bezel. It's just the bezel. It's not anything else, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because there's a difference, as you know, isn't there? There's plated, microns, and then there's capped, which is
It's
basically
capped, yeah.
capped. And then you've got solid gold. All Rolex watches are solid, apart from ones in so many years ago. But now the production of Rolex, even their crowns are heavily capped, heavily capped. But they're one of the few brands. No, I won't say one of the few brands. They are the brand that is solid, when it comes to.
Unlike Cartier back in the day, which were some of them gold plated as well.
Which is no, but that's the old Cartier, right?
Old, yeah. 90s, right?
Yeah, we've got a GMT on there.
Yeah, so boys, how you going? I just going to work. I just thought I'd come in and just say a quick hello and tell you guys what a wonderful job you are doing. How you going? It's awesome to see, man, some fellow Greeks doing watch talk and doing what I definitely love to see. You guys rock, man. You really do. So proud to see it.
Thanks for coming on.
I've got a quick question while I'm here.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
What do you think of the brand Ming?
You asked that in the comments, and we didn't actually come to that, Dee. Yeah, well, you start with that first, Dee.
What I think of Ming? Did you say Ming? Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Ming.
Look, I'm a big advocate for micro brands doing their thing. What are they from? What are they from Malaysia or Singapore?
Is Malaysia?
It
Malaysia.
Malaysia. Yeah. Look, I think they're all right brand. I think there's a lot of hype around them, though, guys. I think they're overly hyped, if I'm being honest with you, for what they are. I've seen other brands produce similar watches with the same movement at a much lower price. People like Zelos producing watches of similar quality at lower price points. To be fair,
why do you think they're so hyped and so overpriced? What do you think makes that actually possible?
I'll be honest with you. I think a lot of social media on YouTube's hyped them up too much, and I've seen a lot of dealers. I won't mention any names who've got them and gone to town to push the brand. I think people may have bought them with a little bit of buyer's remorse, and these so-called traders have picked them up at a very cheap price and are pushing them and hyping them up to try and generate more interest in the brand. Look, I've seen micro brands come and go over the years. There's been a lot of brands like Ming, right? A hell of a lot of brands. I won't mention their names. They've come and gone, but it's unfair to mention them now because they don't exist. It's historic. But I don't know. It's one of those brands that you've got to be 100% sure you love the aesthetic and you're not just following the crowd, if that makes sense. Yeah. I haven't seen the marketing. I don't know too much about the movement, to be honest with you. It's an attractive watch. Don't get me wrong. They've never been in contact with me, but I know other people that have bought a Ming and they're sort of umming and ahhing. They've asked me what my thoughts are. And to be honest with you, I can't make judgment on the watch. I've never handled it.
Yeah.
I can only go on.
I've got
and-
one. So the reason that's why I'm asking to see your thoughts on it.
Which one?
I've got actually two of them.
Wow.
Funny you say.
Maar
But I bought them at retail. I didn't buy them at... No. What happened was there's a bit of a story behind it. There's a bit of a story behind why I have these pieces, right? I was on a stream. I was on a stream once, and what happened was they all, they were releasing them. You had to buy them there and then, right? So what happened was I actually happened to try and get them. I was trying that hard that I accidentally overcharged my card, $47,900 Australian dollars. Overcharged my card because I was trying so hard, right? So what happened was at the end of the whole story, I firstly had to cancel my card and all the rest of it. It took actually a month for me to get my card back. But then what happened was I never got one, right? So I didn't get any of them. And the funny thing was a couple of my friends that did get one actually got one color of each because there was two getting released at that time. And they both sold it to me at that cost price because the story was so unreal and it actually unfolded on a stream that it was hilarious, and they wanted to sell them to me. So I ended up getting both of them at cost just to have in my collection because there's a bit of a story behind it.
Yeah. Look, it's hard to say. It's early days for Ming. It's hard. You can't judge a brand, so early in its lifespan. But Alex, have you had any experience with this brand at all?
Well, one of my, I believe, Hadley Fraser Luxury, who sells watches, Matt Dale, I think he's actually ordered a Ming. And I don't know if he's received it yet or not, but what I don't like about Ming is that I believe that they had some real bad R&D problems, where the hands weren't lining up. And that's poor. That's really...
Yeah, that's correct. It is. They did address it and they did sort it out, which is good. But that was probably the ones that I have. But mine, I don't have any issues, which is great. But they did, the first batch that they actually released did have issues, alignment issues. So, but it's all sorted now, so it's all good.
But the thing for me is that how hard can it be for hands to line up? That's like a car not driving straight.
Seiko have had issues like this, Alex, but they're not at that price point, with the bezels, certain, handsets not lining up on their chronographs. But these are like, £300 watches, not 4K. They're about 4K, aren't they? Pound sterling. Correct me if I'm wrong with Ming.
We're talking, he's not cheap, I mean, even if they were to do a QC prior to leaving the factories, no different than a service and a watch, they would have seen that. I think they're under pressure. That's the pressure.
So look, you Mr. GMT, you how long did it take you to get the timepiece from when you transferred your money over?
Sorry, boys, I just cut out. Can you just repeat that? Sorry.
How long did it take you to receive the watch once the money was transferred?
Well, I didn't. The watch actually came in pretty quick, but it actually took over a year for my mates to actually receive. They had to pay half, and then the other half when it was dispatched.
50%, and you had to wait a year.
Yeah,
that's mad.
So it sounds actually like over a year.
Wow, that's a long time. It sounds like they get people's money.
These were the ones that had issues, remember that. So they took a bit longer to actually get released. So they released them and then pulled them back and then they released them again, sort of thing, if you know what I mean.
There's some brands that take all your money and you still have to wait a year. And I do not agree with that. Sorry. I do agree. When people bring in their watches to me for a service, they say, do I need to leave your deposit? I'm like, no, because your watch is your deposit. You can't, you're going to give me money and your watch. I've not even serviced it yet.
Well, that's logical. I would think that, I don't know what they're thinking, but that's what I would think too. You got my watch, it's worth thousands of dollars, whatever it's worth.
Yeah. I want a deposit. I've got to do the work and then show you a video, pictures, and then I ask for the money. There's some companies that actually ask for payment before the service is even done. that puts me in a state where I get lazy because I've already got the money. And I might not even do a good job because I know I've got the money already. And I don't agree with that logic. I even have people that dealers where I do trade work and I say, don't pay me now. Here's the watch. Make sure the customer's happy with it first and then pay me. I think that's a better approach.
Well, every time I've had my watches serviced, I was paid at the end. I've never actually paid up front, ever.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that happening, actually.
Yeah.
So, was Ming like a Kickstarter campaign project, or how did they, how do they produce their watches? Who's behind the watch? Is there an investor, or do you know the history of the brand?
No, I don't know much of the history of the brand, but what I do know is the guy is a photographer. The guy that actually started Love the Watches, he was a photographer, and he designed the watches, and they're named after him. He has got a group, obviously, that back him, but he was the guy that actually started it, and it was his idea, his vision. So it's been like that ever since. But it started a few years ago, hasn't it? It's not a recent brand. It's been around for a little while. But I only heard about it on that night. I never heard about Ming prior to the night that actually I went through with it. But with all the hype and all my friends that were trying to purchase them, I pretty much got myself into a lot of shit. It was hilarious at the time, that's how I got into the actual brand, and I ended up getting it because
too many KOs.
The funny thing is, I was a bit drunk at the time too, so I wasn't exactly sober, if we would say.
I will say this, guys. Look. I've dealt with loads. When I say loads, I'm talking about maybe 200 plus micro brands have contacted me over the years. There's been hundreds of different micro brands that have exhibited at places like World-Time, and they come and go. The lifespan of the company could be 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, and then they disappear. We've got Batch Guitar Watches in the house. Evening. All holla from Barcelona. Hello.
Hello, my man.
Nice guy.
I must say, I'm very impressed with the amount of support you guys have, man. It's awesome to see. And the Greeks too is unbelievable. I mean,
listen,
Greeks and stuff.
Mr. GMT, Alex now is very famous in the North London as well, where we've got 80,000 supporters. I'm a bit worried when we go to World-Time at Heathrow, anyone would think it was Greece winning in the European Championship in 2004. We're going to celebrate a Greek watchmaker attending. It's going to be a very special event. I mean, anyone think it's the Greek president coming down, So,
well, you know what? Look, this guy. Not only he's humble, he's straight up, he's honest. He's also a sexy-looking guy too. So he's got the whole package deal going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's going to give me some competition at last. I've had it all my own way, Mr. GMT, all these years, So I've been keeping the watch world sexy there.
She's competition.
I joined the gym again.
I don't blame you if you've got to keep up with Alex, man. You got to join the gym.
So no, I've been double intake of the protein. It's been souvla, pork, lamb, chicken, sea bass, calamari, octaboin, octopus. I've gone full out on the protein. So it's all good. No, Alex is a lovely guy. I mean, look, I've got a reasonably big following from the Greek community, but I'll be honest with you, World-Time UK is evolved through a Facebook group called Divers Group on Facebook, and they've got coming up to 70,000 followers, and I made a lot of friends over the years, and I exhibited Pantor watch brand. I became a global distributor of the brand, and now it's just like literally oiling the machine. I exhibited there myself many years in a row. I think it's like 3-4 years, but the actual founder is a Greek Cypriot guy in Nicosia, a guy called Andreas, who runs Local Time, and he's an authorized dealer of watch brands like Zin, just to name a few. But he's also got a pre-owned section as well. So it's a very intriguing, friendly environment, and really leading on to Watch Pro, which is a lot different. It's much more commercial. Watch Pro will be there. It'll be me, Watch Pro, Lucy, the events organizer. We're doing the full-on media support of World Time. Then they're going to be there to exhibit their events as well. But what would be great, it's a shame, if you can come, GMT, it'd be great to see you. I am
don't
offering
worry. To actually come and do something like that is my dream. Hopefully one day that it's possible. But we'll see. I'd love to be honest. I would love to.
We'll have to come and see you down under at some point. I've got
Come here,
a
man.
few
I
relatives
tell
in
everyone,
Melbourne.
whoever comes to Darwin, where I'm at, the food while you're here is on me. You don't have to pay for anything. It's all on me. That's all I have to say. If you're willing to come and visit me all the way here, everything's on me. That's it. That's my promise to anybody that visits me.
If you don't mind me asking, GMT, what do they call you? What's your name?
My full name, my name
Just your
is
first
Peter.
name, your first name.
Peter.
Panayiotis. Oh, Panayiotis.
Panayiotis, yeah.
Bravo, Panayiotis. Okay, cool. Peter or Panis?
Bunnies.
Panis. Yeah.
Bunnies.
Well, my daughter actually calls me by, it's like a nickname, I suppose, Banikos.
Or
My daughter,
Panikos,
actually,
yeah.
my little girl, my 4-year-old. So yeah, my boys, it was lovely talking to you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to jump on and have a chat and really experience this awesome community. And I've got to head off to work now, but take care. And as I always say to all my friends, remember, always stay sexy, boys. You stay care.
Always, my friend.
Thank you so
always.
much.
Take care.
Look after yourselves. Ciao. Bye.
Take care, Baniko. Take care. So Alex, we've been on here for a while now, haven't we? I said to Alex, guys, I will jump on for maybe an hour, 30 minutes today, give you guys an update on World Time and what to expect. I just want to make sure everybody who's driving down there, don't forget to give your car park ticket to reception before you leave, so you get a good discount, because parking is very expensive as well. So Alex, are you all booked? Is your hotel booked then? Is it for World Time?
Yeah. Sofitel Hotel, isn't it?
Yeah, Sofitel.
Yeah.
In Heathrow, yeah, not up north.
No. In Heathrow. So I'm all booked. It's I didn't realise it's is it 4 or 5 star?
It's a 5-star hotel. It's a 5-star hotel. So I think Ian's going to be there as well. He's part of the D Time crew, so he'll be there. And it'd be great to see everybody. It's going to be a good event, I think. There's going to be a lot of brands. I'm not exhibiting this time, so I'll be able to mingle. I think Andreas has got me on the list as a brand as well. So technically, it's 69 brands, because I wouldn't call myself a brand, but I'm more media coverage with Watch Pro, if that makes sense. So it's going to be all fun and games for sure.
There's going to be a lot of people there, isn't there? It's going to be loads.
Yeah, look, I updated with Andreas about 48 hours ago, and apparently they've upgraded, the size of the function room. So it's not unlimited, but we could have 500 plus people there, which is going to be quite a spectacle for sure.
Got a question for you.
If catching the tube to Terminal 5 is the hotel far from the... No, it's not, Thomas. The actual tube station, I believe it's Metropolitan Line, Terminal 5, will lead you straight to Terminal 5. It's literally a 4-5 minute walk to Terminal 5 from there. And the hotel is actually attached to Terminal 5, guys. So, to be honest with you, it's not going to be like the London Watch Show where you can just walk out and you're going to have hundreds of venues. We are pretty much stuck with the hotel, but the hotel is not as expensive as the Grosvenor, which is saying a lot. It is expensive, don't get me wrong, but you're probably looking at maybe 25% cheaper in terms of ordering food and so on. So we've got Nicola as well. Can we order watches next week? Yeah, you can. You can register your interest. Now, there's going to be so many brands. I can't speak for all of the brands, but the majority of the brands that are going to be attending, they're exhibiting their pieces are readily available to order. There will be maybe a few new releases as well, but the majority of brands, the more mainstream brands like Zin, Doxa, for example, you can very easily just order a watch off their website. For example, Doxa, you can order their watches from Watches of Switzerland or Goldsmiths or Map and Web. Their watches are readily available to order, and you can collect them at your local store as well. There's going to be a few brands that are relatively new as well, but I have to say, you won't be able to purchase a watch right there just to manage your expectations, but you will have the opportunity to pre-order or buy at their showrooms, guys. Now's the time to ask. If you've got any question, guys, feel free to ask.
Any questions about anything as well? There's no limit.
No limit.
No limit. That clock on the wall on the wrong time.
Sorry?
That clock on your wall's on the wrong time.
Yeah, everyone says that. I've got no battery in the. It's a quartz, unfortunately. When I set the shoe, that's been the same like that. It's just a piece of art, like most of my watches.
Okay.
We've got no questions. Well, let's move on to Watch Pro. Watch Pro, it's going to be, put it this way, Watch Pro, when you go to Watch Pro, it's going to be like walking through the boutiques. There'll be a bit more of a boutique experience, guys, at Watch Pro. There'll be a bit more effort in regards to the environment, the way you walk in. For example, if you go and see Grand Seiko, it'd be like walking into their Knightsbridge boutique, for example. They are moving to New Bond Street, 2 floors. My firm, A to Z Recruitment Solutions, is actually fulfilling that assignment as we speak. And it's going to be exciting times. It's great to have 2 watch shows to attend, Alex, in relatively short periods of time.
Yeah, they're total opposites, aren't they, really? In fairness, I think.
Yeah, there will be a lot of brands at World Time exhibiting at Watch Pro, but Watch Pro is going to have some independent luxury brands, I would say.
Yeah, the last Watch Pro that we went to, I really enjoyed that. I mean, the hotel, which hotel was it at again?
The Londoner Hotel.
Yeah,
the Londoner Hotel, Leicester Square, beautiful hotel.
Yeah.
It's a traditional Orthodox event in regards to how wealth management events take place, luxury events. It's got that feel of professionalism about it. Yeah. So they're real journalists, people representing the brands. They're getting a real insight behind the real people behind the brands. A lot of them will be international sales managers. A lot of guys that I work with, where I supply sales associates, brand ambassadors, watchmakers. A lot of my guys that I've placed in the industry will be there. There'll be a lot of mystery shoppers as well. Head of buying will be there just to see how these guys interact with the community as well. It's going to be an interesting event.
Well, we went, didn't we, to the last one? And
I was promoting the show, Alex. It was
that's
how we met. It's a great opportunity to network. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it was, and I'm glad I went because obviously I want to meet yourself and O'Sheen as well. O'Sheen was there. Paul Thorpe was there.
Paul Thorpe was there. Yeah.
Tim Wright was there. Upsetting everybody.
I got attacked by the PHI. One of my guys was taking the piss out of us. I was like, well, it's got nothing to do with me.
No, he's not associated. No, I loved it. I mean, it was very small, but it was
nice champagne.
Yeah, the champagne was great. I had a few glasses.
With hors d'oeuvres as well.
Hors d'oeuvres. It was very small, but there was stuff to see. It was quite.
We had the cars as well. I like that. We had the cars. We had the talks where people got to talk and you could sit there. Some famous watchmakers. I'll let you fill them in on that as well. So there's going to be a schedule to the day where you won't find that World Time, and nothing like the London Watch Show. Very well organized. You'll see how an event is meant to be done at a professional level, how the commercial brands, this is what they want to be associated with. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, like Thomas Burnett said, there was Roger Smith and Kerry Vutalenin as well.
Yep.
Kerry was nice. I always wanted to meet him. I got to meet him, discussed about a
Shook the
project.
man's hand. We had a good old conversation with him, and it was great.
Roger Smith remembered me from years ago because I had the privilege of meeting him before. I actually remember him showing me his first piece when I was 20, when I was in my very, very early 20s. I'm 39 now. Are you older than me, Dale?
I don't reveal my age. We'll let the audience decide.
Oh, okay, right. Let's see.
We're
Let's
the
see.
same age, aren't we?
Oh, well, you know, you just said it.
Yeah, I ruined it. It's getting late, Alex. I didn't want to, you know, do a poll. We'll do a poll. It'd be like the Eurovision Song Contest.
I want to just answer Nikki's. Is it Nikki? Question about a vintage Zenith Fi. Now, the vintage Zenith Fi. So anything that's over 20, 25 years old, I charge an estimate of 150 plus VAT, which is 180. So the estimate will be very detailed, showing what the watch needs. If the customer proceeds, then the 150 is deducted from the service price. If they decline, then they just pay the 180. So that's what I do on more vintage pieces. So if he wants to contact me, and then we can then discuss further. D looks 40. My
D looks good for his age 40, you see.
in 11s,
I tell you what, I'm going to do merchandise, right? It's going to be called extra virgin olive oil, applied to the face once a day.
But yeah, like my dad used to put yogurt on his face.
Listen, I mean, no comment, mate, on that. What sort of yogurt was he putting? I hope it was Greek yogurt, eh?
No, yeah, that's what he used to do. Yeah, he's got good skin, I must admit.
He's not like the Zohan who brushes his teeth with hummus.
In a Windex.
Not Windex.
Windex.
Oh, we had a message from Ian. You missed it, Alex. Alex, what year is the Omega you have for sale?
Does he mean the Rolex that I mentioned, 5500?
I think you meant, maybe.
Yeah. I've got a 74. I've got an Omega 74, which obviously is the year of Cyprus, but that's not for sale. That I'm not selling. That's going to my boy, my beautiful boy, which you can see in the back. There's pictures of my son.
Fantastic. So Alex, should we wrap up? I think we've said what we have to say. If guys want me to summarize once again, because we're leading up to World Time next week, guys. It's going to be a great pleasure to meet you all. Don't be afraid to say hi. And I'm going to be pretty busy, but guys, honestly, if you're around and you see me, don't be afraid to come by and say hi. And to give you guys heads up, the event starts at 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
Sorry, go.
And we're basically, what I've said to the guys is we tried to organize a dinner, for example, for everybody. But the hotel said, because we've got so many people, I've got about, 100 plus people. They're quoting me like Greek wedding prices, like, 50 grand to sit down in a function hall, for a dinner. So listen, we just want to get a few burgers, chips. I'm not asking for like a, 5-course meal or anything. So we'll have to get to the bar. We'll order some food in afterwards and have a bit of a gathering, have some drinks, and have a catch up with everybody would be great. A nice little meet up. And I mean, I'm there on the Friday as well. I'm going out with some of the brands and head of buying from a couple of the organizations that I work with. So I'll be able to get a great insight. So we got tickers saying thought it started at 2. I think it is 3 p.m. tickers, but you're welcome to come earlier. Let me have a look at the ticket, guys. He's got me thinking now. Maybe it is. I think it's 3 p.m. To be honest with you, that's when the doors open. But I'm going to be there early, guys. So you'll probably bump into me. I'll be there quite early for sure. Just have a look at the ticket. Bear with me, guys.
Ian says it's 3 p.m.
Yeah, it is 3 p.m., guys. It's 3 p.m. Now, Watch Pro, on the other hand, guys, I am offering 30% discount. If you guys want to attend, you just put D time at the salon event section on Watch Pro's website, and you will get 30% discount. That's more than what Watch Pro are actually offering through their other media streams. I've negotiated a very good discount. Just to let you guys know, on the Friday in the morning, that will be open to sort of business to business traders, the brands. I will be there from the morning, but in the afternoon you can attend, but it is quite expensive. You're looking at about 150 pounds, £100, depending what ticket you get for that side. But the actual Saturday, the ticket is a lot more affordable, but you can still get 30% discount if you use the D time code, guys. So we're giving back on that side, but I will be there. Get in touch if you need any more advice. I've invited a few of the YouTubers, Alex, as you're aware of. We'll get together. Be nice to catch up with everybody, and a few of the loyal subscribers will be there. But that's going to be a fantastic event. It's going to be a great gathering of friends and family, I like to call it as well. But World Time is going to be a family event. I think once you guys go there, you'll want to attend every year. I've exhibited there so many times now with brands that I work with, and it's been fantastic. It's one big family. What I would say, if anyone is going to be, live streaming or anything like that, just ask before you stream. Fill your booths, it's fine. But there will be certain people that I know that are coming from the military, and they do not want to be on any live streams. They've told me straight, just to make you guys aware of that. They're part of the military. For whatever reason, it's up to them. They don't want to be on any live stream. So just respect that and just ask questions before you film anything. If you need anything, just come to me and I'll let you know what you can and what you can't do on the day. But guys, it's going to be a great event for sure.
Before you go, Dee.
Yes.
It's a big fight this morning, isn't it?
This morning? What? Chris Eubank?
No, that's the 8th of October, isn't it?
What fight? What fight are you looking at?
Canelo, eh?
Oh, Canelo. Sorry there.
You know why?
Yeah.
You know why it's called Canelo, don't you?
You can feel us in, Alex. Come on. I can see you've got something playing on your mind.
Because he was bullied in school, wasn't he? And he was called Ginger, which is Canela, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Alex, you had to bring that one up, didn't you?
I thought I'd let you know, So he turned a negative into a positive, didn't he? So, but it's Saul Alvarez, isn't it?
While we're off subject now, what does everyone think of the Fury Joshua, fight? Was it 3rd of December? Who's your money on?
Oh man, you just think I even need to answer that? For God's sake.
Look, I don't think Joshua's going to be a walkover, though.
Of course he is.
No, well, I think he'll go a few rounds, won't he, with him?
Mentally. Look, when you have that much money, do you really want to keep fighting? Fury's different. Fury's in his blood. It's in his blood.
That's it will happen.
But I think Triple G's going to upset. I think he's going to upset Canelo the second time.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to. I mean, he's older, but these Kazakhstanis, don't mess with them. They're. I'm thinking he's Kazakhstani, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
He's. I'll tell you what. I mean, I know he's Canelo's Mexicanos, but Kazakhstan, they're scary people.
But he's not a usual Mexican guy, like you said. He's ginger. Don't want to stereotype, but it's like it's like.
You ever met a ginger Greek?
Yeah, I have actually. I have.
Yeah.
I have. Yeah. But you get all. Listen, people think us Greeks we were olive skin and that, but there's got blondes, there's got gingers.
Blonde, yeah, a lot of blondes.
Blue eyes like me, I'm not your typical Greek.
You got blue eyes?
Yeah.
Have you done a DNA test?
Here we go again. Listen, have you done it? This guy thinks he descends of Alexander the Great. You guys don't know what I have to put up with this guy. Talking about Alexander the Great, every reference, quote, everything,
because everything goes back to him. You don't realize. You need to do your history there.
There we go. We started that again. Yeah?
You should know this.
Oh, dear. That's funny. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Thank you for watching, guys. It's been a pleasure as always. And I will put something out in regards to the show during the week on the channel. Don't forget to check out Time to Drive. I'm going to a big event on Tuesday with my new sponsors, Hexagon Cars. I'll be with my clients as well. And we've got a little special from the big boy brands as well. And it begins with an R. So keep a lookout for that. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this man, Perpetual-Time, to the D Time Love channel, my new channel, Time to Drive. Big shout out to Hexagon Cars, Zanetti Detailing as well. And to all the guys that follow us and support us. Fantastic.
No, I appreciate everyone watching. And also, just to let you know, I put in the link because we're still going to, obviously, once the show is end the broadcast.
If anyone wants to jump on and want to talk to us, you can jump on and we're happy to chat.
Well, just before you go, Nicola's asked us about Rado.
Well, Rado, part of the Swatch Group, aren't they? They are don't get a lot of exposure by the watch community, do they? They're massive in Asia, guys. Rado, I've heard of people, you know, like in Pakistan, say to me that they'll take a Rado over a Rolex over there. So it's massive in Bollywood. You know, they've got great ambassadors out there for Rado. I think they've really captured the Asian market. They don't really put the emphasis in the UK, Alex. It's not that big in the UK. But the Captain Cook, there are a few models, you know, they got the Captain Cook, the ETA 2824/2 movement in there, ceramic, bezel, good watch, but it's in a price bracket where you can get Oruses, you can get entry-level Tudors and stuff like that. So it gets overlooked a lot of the time. What are your thoughts, Alex?
No, just don't like them. I think, I mean, the ceramic.
Ceramics, it's all ceramic, isn't it? And
it's been out for years. They're one of the first, I think, weren't they? The ceramic.
Were they? Yeah, weren't they like an Italian brand? Aren't they Italian, Rado? Does anyone know if they're Italian originally?
I don't
know
even
they're
know.
Swiss made.
I haven't got a clue, but I remember
Rocky Balboa was used
had
to
a Rado?
didn't he? Yeah. Back in the day, he was like an ambassador for them back in the day as well.
You joking?
Probably in his early days.
Are we talking about as in plain Rocky or as in sliced alone?
I don't know. I've seen a few adverts with him wearing a Rado. Is it D Star with the
Oh yeah,
you know, the old one, the gold one, when it had like a
yeah.
bead of rice bracelet and stuff like that.
Yeah. I remember, yeah. That was a very popular one. Also, the one that was all black. It was like quartz LTD.
Yeah, I think they're famous for the anchor, isn't it? It sort of moves around.
It does move around, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does move around. It's nothing spectacular. It's not like great innovation. It just like moves around because it's loose. You know, it's not like anything special. I mean, look, they're just famous for ceramic. I'm surprised you don't like them, Alex, because your favorite color is black. Sort of dark ceramic, cool. You know, let's be honest. They don't speak to me in design, aesthetic, or anything like that. But I respect the fact they've got some models. You know, you could probably compare them to long jeans. I would have thought, right? Within the range?
Long jeans is better, aren't they? I mean, and we know Archie can't stand long jeans. He can't stand
long jeans is good. Long jeans are good now. They're like Swatch Group's brand that's going after Tudor. And they're undercutting them as well. But
no, that long jeans has just come out. That is it Admiral? Was it Admiral? The reedition?
Which one? The Zulu?
The green one.
Yeah, the GMT. Nice.
Oh, that's stunning.
Look, when I was in the AD, before I got the Tudor, the root beer model, I looked at the long jeans, and I have to say they look fantastic for the price. You know, about 2.5K.
Yeah,
they're not cheap, but they're not anything expensive either. You know, in terms of what they offer, in terms of quality, they're very good.
Right, guys. So that's it, isn't it?
That's it.
See you guys later.
Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.
See you later.